Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, before we go to the fact, we will listen about beyond integrating. Okay, the first point is self and peer assessment. It is traditional assessment versus self or peer assessment. Okay, traditional assessment is usually done by the teacher. In this view, self and peer assessment might seem strange because students are still learning and might not be able to accurately assess themselves. Next point is important self assessment. Okay, it is important for learning to any skill. Successful students usually develop the ability to monitor their own progress, make correction, and learn more on their own outside the classroom without needing a teacher. Next benefit of in benefit of peer assessment. Okay, benefit of peer assessment is feedback from peer is that peer has provide additional insight. Input from classmates can offer new perspective that aids in the learning process. Next, skill development. In this point, students who can access themselves and access peer feedback tend to be more successful because they take an active role in their own learning and are not solely dependent on the teacher. Okay, next point is advantages for self and peer assessment. Their own learning goals both within the classroom and learning. Next point is independent pursuit. Next point is self-monitoring. In this point, students learn to monitor their own progress, which help making adjustment and improvement. Next is intrinsic motivation. Okay, this point, students with internal motivation, driven by their own desire to excel, which is essential for mastering any skill. Okay, next is peer assessment advantages. Okay, the first one is operative learning. In this point, peer assessment promotes collaboration among students, allowing them to learn from each other and appreciate the value of working together. Okay, next is empowerment and experiment and experiment and experiment. Okay, despite students feel empowered as they provide feedback to peers, showcasing their own knowledge and skill and learning to offer constructive feedback. Next is autonomy and control. Um, okay, next is types of self and peer assessment. Specific purpose. Okay, this student evaluate our peer specific likes specific tasks like an oral presentation or writing assignment shortly after completing it. Next is indirect method. Students sketch rubrics evaluating performance of a multiple lesson or a new terms. Example, rating general language skill on a scale from 1 until 5, considering multiple assignment to judge overall competence. Next is metacognitive assessment. Self-reflection and social interaction. And example, peer feedback on the project, self-reflection on contribution in classroom discussion. Next is guidelines for effective self and peer assessment. How? It is clearly explain the benefit and purpose of self and peer assessment to students, highlighting how it helps to understand their progress and improve their learning skill. Then next is define the text clearly. The instruction and example for its text for static test, structured text like landing sheet or questionnaires, instruction and steps forward for open-ending text like journal entries, deadline example to clarify expectation. Next is promote impartial evaluation. Criteria to grade the assessment and help them understand the value of providing and receiving constructive feedback. Next is ensure beneficial follow-up. Ensure beneficial follow-up. Okay, in this stage, follow-up is essential to reinforce learning and make assessment meaningful. How? It is implement follow-up activities such as full self analysis, journal reflection, written feedback from the teacher, teacher-student conference, and purposeful goal setting. This activity helps students reflect on their assessment and use the feedback to improve. Next is test, bilingual question, clarification, lectures, and goal. In this speaking consists of self checklist, peer checklist, presentations, error detection, confirmation, and goals. My present material is in case implementation is reflective and self and peer assessment help set goals for future learning and development, fostering intrinsic motivation growth, autonomous reflection, and goal setting. The process drives future action and continuous improvement. Okay, this is from me. The next material will be written by Faisal Davidson. Faisal,
We will discuss is portfolio. Portfolio is considered to be one of the most popular and productive assessment method is the development of a portfolio which may be defined as a purposeful collection of students' work that demonstrates their efforts, progress, and achievements in any given areas. Portfolios include a variety of materials such as the first one is essays and competition. Composition in draft and final form. And then reports, project. And then include assessment, like in, for example, audio and video recordings of presentation, test scores and written homework exercise, notes on lectures, and self and peer assessment, comments, evaluation, and checklist. They take advantages of the features available in digital format. A writing portfolio should be developed with clear purpose and guidelines, which we will get to the next point. Regardless of whether it is hard copy or electronic. Gradle suggested a developmental scheme to consider the nature and purpose of portfolios. It includes 6 possible attributes of the portfolio. The first one is collecting, reflecting, then assessing, documenting, linking, and finally evaluating. This is Gradle, which involve the clear purposes and guidelines, whether it is hard copy or electronic. As collection, portfolios are an expression of students' lives and identities. The appropriate level of freedom to choose what to include should be respected. A portfolio can serve as an important link between student and teacher, parent, community, and peers. It is a tangible product created with pride and it identifies as students' uniqueness. Finally, evaluation. Evaluation of portfolio requires a time-consuming but fulfilling process that produces accountability. Then next point is when assigning portfolios, it is vital to state the purpose clearly. Pick one or more of the cradle which we mentioned earlier. Attributes named above and specify them as goals. How those purposes are connected to, integrated with, and or a reinforcement of your already stated curricular goals. A portfolio attains maximum authenticity and wash back when transparent. The most important aspect of portfolio development and the most complex. Two sources, self-assessment and teacher's assessment, must be incorporated for students to receive a maximum benefit. Self-assessment should be as clear and simple as possible. O'Malley and Valdez-Pierce in 1996 suggested that the following half-page self-evaluation of a writing sample with space for students to write for middle school English language student. The designated time allocated. I apologize for my bad. Okay. The last point is designated time allocated. Make sure to designate time within the curriculum of portfolio development. If students feel rushed or to gather materials and reflect on them, the effectiveness of the portfolio process is diminished. Make sure that students have time set aside for portfolio work and that your own opportunities for conferencing are not compromised. Okay, lanjut. Brought to you by Adit. For Adit, the stage is yours.
Okay, I will explain about the positive final assessment. Give positive final assessment then perfect respect. When a portfolio is complete at the end of a term, a final summation is in order. And then should portfolios be graded? We award specific numerical score. And then opinion is divided. From Wolcott, recommended holistic scoring scale rating from 1 to 6 based on such qualities and equity. And then from the Wolcott, recommended a holistic scoring scale ranging from 1 to 6 based on such qualities as inclusion of out-of-class work, error-free work, deep of content, creativity, organization, writing style, and engagement of the student. Such scores are perhaps best viewed as numerical equivalent of letter grade. Such evaluation might include a final appraisal by the student with questions such as those listed above for self-assessment of the project and a narrative evaluation by the teacher to describe perceived strength and weaknesses. The final evaluation should emphasize strength but also point the way toward better learning challenges. A narrative evolution to counteract the widespread use of letter grades as exclusive indicator of achievement. Many institutions have one time or another use narrative evaluation of students. In some cases, those narratives replace grades, whereas in others they supplement them. What do such narratives look like? Referring the three narratives that follow figure 12.5 in page. In page 326 in the book. Di sana ada tiga final evaluation, ada dari pelajaran listening, reading, writing, and grammar. Of the present similar with the expectation that the narrative are written by admission personnel in the student's next program of study. That is true that letter grades are also assigned. The argument is favor of this form of evaluation are apparent. Number one is individualization. Number two, evaluation of multiple objectives of a course. Number three, qualitative. And number four, back potential. But it is advantage for the many cases to override such benefit. And number one is narrative cannot be quantified usually by admission and transcript evaluation of it. Number two, narratives take a great deal of time for teachers to complete. Number three, students have little attention to them. And then number four, teachers have option evaluation. Some programs the form presented in figure 12.5 in the book in page 328. Are increased practically and reliability while maintaining some respect. Teacher time is minimized. Uniform measures are applied across all students. Some open-ended comment from the teacher are available, and the student responds with his or her own goals. That's all from my explanation.
Okay, thank you, Shahid. We have some material, critical investigation, and question. Please raise your hand.
Pertanyaan. Pertanyaan.
Okay, thank you, Ananda. I have to ask about the peer assessment. So, do you, as a teacher, need to review the score that have been assessed from peer assessment because sometimes the score may not be as valid as the actual score. Jadi, ketika student itu melakukan peer assessment, kan mereka menilai dari siswa lain. Perlu nggak sih guru itu meninjau kembali nilai yang mana ada mungkin siswa nggak valid dengan nilai sebenarnya.
Okay, thank you. Please attend your question yang pasal.
Boleh di-refresh. Jadi pertanyaannya, apakah guru harus meninjau kembali peer assessment yang dilakukan mereka.
Yeah.
Would like to ask what is the simple difference between self-assessment and peer assessment? Between self-assessment and peer assessment.
Let's
Oh, come again, please. What?
Different
What's the difference?
simple difference.
Difference between and peer. What's your name?
Rina.
Sabrina.
Lupin.
Lebih kasih.
last question.
Okay, I would ask to Sandra, which better which better? Which one is better?
Self-assessment or peer assessment?
Yes.
Or here.
Peer assessment.
Peer.
Okay. Another question. Okay, give us some minutes search.
Give us about half an hour to get back to you. Yeah.
I would like to answer from this one question. So the question is, when does the teacher need to review the scores that have been set from peer assessment? Because sometimes the course may not be as valid as the actual scores. Yes. The answer is yes. The teacher typically offers his peer assessment to ensure fairness, consistently adherence to evaluation criteria. They might provide guidance, monitor the process, and intervene if necessary to maintain the integrity of the assessment. Okay. Is my get it?
Thank you, Sandra. I think that's enough to answer my question.
Thank you.
Okay. As of the second question from Rubrina, am I wrong? What's the difference between self-assessment and peer assessment, right? Okay, self-assessment means the process of having the learners critically reflect upon, record the progress, and perhaps suggest grades for their own learning. The term peer assessment refers to the process of having the learners critically reflect upon and perhaps suggest grades for the learning of their peers. Jadi, kalau self assessment kita menilai diri sendiri, peer assessment kita menilai punya orang lain. Bisa tukar kalau di sekolah, ditukar di kursi sebelah atau pandai-pandai lah cara interaksi. Berarti itu aja ya perbedaannya Banggan. Oke, do you find any imperfection from our answer?
Yeah, I think I understand now.
The third question from Atar, which is better, self-assessment or peer assessment? Yeah. Okay, self-assessments are more often used as part of a formative assessment process. Rather than a summative one. Peer assessment is an assessment which allows students to assess each other's performance. Kayak ditukar tadi kan. It can be extremely valuable in helping students to learn from each other by listening, analyzing, and problem solving. Okay? Does that satisfy your needs?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I will give it to the moderator.
Okay, thank you for result. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation about biometric grading. If thank you the time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.